Hi, my name is King David, David and Goliath Music, Beatclass.com. And what we do here is teach music production to students all around the world, either live on our sister website called guardiac.com. I know it's going to be hard for you to remember, so I'm going to show you a picture of it and you can go right to it, okay? And of course, there will be a link in the description. So it is spelled GWARDYAK.com. That site is a live teaching training website, although we have recorded classes as well. And Beatclass.com is pre-recorded tutorials that teach you software, engineering, audio engineering, vocals. It teaches you songwriting, music theory, just too much to name, okay? And we have a service website called mastermybeat.com that allows you to take your tracks once you're done with them and get them mastered to a professional level. Now, I said all that to kind of bring you into a mix that I'm working on right now for an artist that's signed to our record label. And what I want to do is play the mix for you and kind of show you some things that go into the production of a professional song. The hook, first of all, is the most important part of the song. It's like what sells the song, okay? So I'm working on a hook right here, and what I want to begin to do is shape and sculpt it. It takes a lot of time and patience to develop a very professional sounding recording. Though we can do things in 2-3 minutes and get it done quickly, it really makes sense to go in and then fine-tune your work so that when you present this music, there are very little flaws in it. Okay, for example, so this is my hook. I'm using my O2, which is a MIDI controller, to trigger my sounds. Okay? If you look on the screen, you'll see that you'll have a hook part 1, hook part 2, hook part 3, hook part 4, part 5, part 6. Okay? I'm going to play part 1. Here's what it sounds like.
Another one of those loves.
Okay. Part 2.
You never forget.
Part 3.
And girl, whenever you're wet,
part 4.
You take a minute to check and see
part 5.
If I'm there or not, baby, if I care or not.
All right. Part 6 is a harmony.
Well, I guess I'm gonna be.
Actually, part 6 is not a harmony. That is actually a lead part. And then I have 2 harmony parts that come after.
If I'm there or not, baby, if I care or not.
Again. And I'll put that through a different.
If I'm there or not, baby, if I care or not.
Okay, so when you record hooks in parts, which I taught you before on a previous tutorial, you get a much more efficient hook. Okay, and you don't have to sing the whole thing all the way through. At the same time, you're going to have different volume levels, right? So what we want to try and do, and this is just one example, this is not a rule, so you don't have to follow this as a rule, but this is just an insight as to how I do some of my production. So we want to take hook part 1 and put it out the same output as all of the other parts of the hook. The only exception to this rule is if one part of your hook needs to not have the same effect that's placed on all those other parts. Okay? So we're going to put hook 1, 2, 3, all the way down out effects number 7. Now hook part 5, which is actually just backup vocals, and I label everything the way that it says, hook part 5 backing vocals, stereo. Then I have hook part 5 backing vocal, which is a mono. Okay? Now all of these combined make for a very interesting hook. And what I'm going to do is take that part 5, and instead of putting it out of 7, I'm going to put it out of 6. Why is this? Because I don't want that to have the same effect as everything else that is on insert effect 7. Okay? How do I do this? For someone who's new using FL Studio, but you can use this on any other software. Okay, first of all, I'm going to click on my channel and then go to FX. And yes, I can Alt-L and give it an automatic assignment. But for those channels that need to go out of the same effect mixer, I'm not going to be able to use that Alt-L. I'm going to have to manually come to my FX section on my channel settings, left click it, and go up or down with my mouse to choose that output. Okay, so there's a little bit for people who are just coming into this program. But for people who know how to use this program, let's move a little bit faster. All right, so insert number 7 is going to be my insert for all of my audio. But because I told you earlier that the audio volumes are going to be different, I then have to use and change my audio volumes within the pattern. What does that mean? That means my volume is going to be different on each one of my hook parts. Okay? If I have a hook part that really needs to stand out, I might want to come to the channel settings and maximize it or normalize it. This way it's louder. Okay? Now, let's look and see what happens. We're going to watch the hook play through all of the parts. We're going to listen to it, and we're going to see the volume differences. First of all, we have a much lower volume on hook part 1. This is much higher on hook part 2. And why is that? Because you can look at the wave and see that the wave is bigger on 1, so the volume will go down if the wave is bigger. It's smaller on hook 2, so it goes up. I mean, it's pretty much a no-brainer. Now, what you want to do once you have everything in place is use your meters to determine how low or how high you want to turn up or down. Okay, so I'm going to play my chorus real quick.
Another one of those loves you never forget. And girl, whenever you're wet, you take a minute to check and see if I'm there or not, baby, if I care or not. Well, I guess I'm gonna be another one of those loves.
Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm listening, but now I have to go and look at my meter in order to make sure that I have good volumes on my choruses. Okay, so I'm going to start again my chorus. I'll let my meter tell me what level each one should be at. But I'm going to have to watch and make sure I can see which part is being played and correspond that with the meter. So here we go. I'll hit play.
Another one of those loves you never forget. And girl, whenever you're wet, you take a minute to check and see.
Okay, now in order to check my metering, I have to have my mixer on that particular channel where my vocals are coming through, or else it won't work. Then I come over here and look at my master volume, and I can see exactly what level this it's hitting at, because there will be a line there. Watch this.
Another one of those loves you never forget. And girl, whenever you're wet, you take a minute to check and see if I'm there or not, baby, if I care or not. Well, I guess I'm gonna be another one of those loves you never forget.
Okay, you can see that on average I'm hitting somewhere around -7 or -8 decibels. All right, there may be a couple parts that are not punching through or being as evened out as possible, because we want to have an even chorus, right? And that's the curse and the gift of recording in parts, is that you're going to have to then go and even out all your parts. But the gift is that you get greater control over your chorus, and you can put different effects on your chorus. Each one of these parts are layered several times with several different takes, and they're panned, some of them. So you're going to have this multifaceted hook that really adds for a great part. So that gives you just an idea of how you must change volumes to match each other when you're creating a hook, if you're using the sectional hook recording, what I taught you before. If you're just recording your hook straight through, you won't have to do this as much. Okay? Again, you're going to lose some quality if you just record your hook straight through, but it's really up to you, and it's up to what style of music that you're recording. Okay, so now let's play it with the music and listen to how it's evened out with the music. All right, you ready? I'll play it first without the music, then I'll drop the music in. All right, here we go.
Another one of those loves you never forget. And girl, whenever you're wet, you take a minute to check and see if I'm there or not, baby, if I care or not. Well, I guess I'm gonna be another one of those loves you never forget. And girl, whenever you're wet, you take a minute to check and see if I'm there or not, baby, if I care or not. Well, I guess I'm gonna be another one of those loves you never forget. And girl, whenever you're wet, you take a minute to check and see if I'm there or not, baby, if I care or not. Well, I guess I'm gonna be another one of those loves.
All right, I'm King David for David and Goliath Music, and this is metering, using metering to even out your choruses or your hooks. David and Goliath Music, beatclass.com, guardiac.com. Check the description, rate, comment, subscribe, share it all over the world. Talk to you soon. Peace.